So, today's all about tips and tricks, and the first tip or trick I want to quickly go through is how you convert your normal shaft motors to sort of the 3mm screw shaft. So, the threaded shaft basically. So, the first thing you do is log onto the site and find this particular, let's see what this one's called, shaft to screw coupler. So print this out. You'll notice that on this side it's got that sort of, I'm trying to rotate it, there we go. This side, that inner piece sort of looks like, if I turn it around, there we go, looks like basically your motor shaft. This is 3mm, it'll fit quite perfectly. Perfectly as in it'll be tight, and it should be. This side, it's basically got that's where your threaded piece will go. So let's just quickly see it in action once you've printed it out. So typically your motor will look something like this. The shaft is 3mm, and you'll notice that I just need to find a small enough object so I can show you quickly. It's gonna have this piece over here, right? Now what you then need to do, and this is what I've now done with this particular one, so I've printed this this piece that you just saw. This is where the screw goes, and this piece basically, you know, it did look exactly like the motor. You just push it in as hard as you possibly can, and what you then do, so the plan is you're then going to have your screw that looks like this. This is 3mm, and you just screw it in and make sure it's nice and tight. But before you do that, you need to cut the head, and you can use any tool such as your Dremel tool basically to cut it nicely to precision. Obviously, just another tip, hold it like this, put some soft material in between so you don't disturb or damage the threads, and then I'm gonna go in with my Dremel and actually cut the head. I'll show you once it's done. So very quickly, we've now cut the head of our little bolt, just running that all the way through, just making sure that the threads are still functional. If they're not, just force the nut through the first time around, and it should actually reshape the threads properly, as it should. What you then have is something that looks like this, and you can then try and screw this bit in. You see the threads are already, yeah, they're already aligned. And what you can do is, again, grab something soft that you can use to grab this piece and just push it in. I'll show you when it's done. Again, you're armed with the same system as before. You grab it. I'm just using this soft wood in between so I don't actually interfere or damage the threads, and I push it all the way in. That's basically the first part done. Thanks for watching this. Now for the second part of this, it's mainly about getting these little babies in there. These are let's just quickly get my little pointer. These are about actually let's get this one closer. It's about 3mm, and obviously 5 around it. I'm just trying to get this as close as I possibly can to the light. There we go. The problem is these are actually, the height is about 5, but the height of this whole thing is about 10. So how do you get this through? Because as you can see it from both ends. So how do we do this? The trick is get a 3mm bolt, just screw in there, and then grab another one, screw it in there. They don't necessarily need to be tight. Now if you think about it, basically you've got this arrangement, right, where it's gotta go all the way through, but the threads need to be aligned. So you're using this 3mm bolt to basically make sure that the threads are aligned. What do you then do? You take your favorite, cheap soldering iron or whatever. What you then do is you unscrew the tip and you push this in, and I've got a screw just to guide me so it doesn't push all the way down. Once it's hot, then you start melting it into your 3D print, and you go all the way there, right? And once you're done, you just unscrew this guiding bolt. That's it, it's done. And obviously the finished product is something that's going to look like that. If you have a look at it, it looks something like that. But how does it come together? So remember, we've got this bit over here. This bit over here will come through over there, and if you careful enough, you will sort of, there we go, I've got it attached now. So, but I'm not gonna I'm not that fast to actually turn it so as to move this thing, but essentially this is kind of the mechanics of it once you've got everything else done. And obviously the motor will basically use the threads to push this guy up and down and get the motion of your claw clamping and biting. Thank you.